Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is the Scottish Sim guy here, and here I'm doing just something a little bit different. I do get asked quite a lot what mods I use for building, and usually when I'm doing a farm build I will always list every single mod that I use for building that farm. But I wanted to do a little different video today, basically my top 15 mods that I use to do my farm builds, or have done in my farm builds in the past. I think there's one on here that I haven't used yet. It's just a new mod out, but it's a great UK style, Irish style shed. So I just wanted to go through them, show everybody the ones that I use for when I'm doing my UK farm builds and the style of farm build that I like to do. So I'm going to go down the very bottom here, and we've got two kind of style of grain sheds here. So we've got this grain shed here. This one is by Lancyboi. So here we have roller shutter door inside here. So this is just called a blue grain barn, and it's from the grain shed pack by Lancyboi. I don't usually put grain inside sheds. I always put them inside silos. You can put grain in here if you want it as a grain shed, but I just use it mostly when I'm doing farm builds to basically store machinery, and it is your typical UK style grain shed. Very simple, concrete walls, H-beams, tin, roller shutter door, perfect. So that is basically the one by Lancyboi there. Works absolutely brilliantly, and you will see that grain shed in a good lot of my builds. So over here as well is one of my favourites. I have used this a lot in 22 and in 25. So this is a single door 1000 tonne British grain shed by Reddog, and you'll find this in the British grain sheds pack that he does. So open up the door, in we go, and you'll see very similar in style to Lancyboi's, apart from there's a door to come through to open up the shutter door from the inside. A little bit smaller than that one there, but more or less the exact same style, and two great sheds from two great modders. So that is basically the two grain sheds that I will mostly use. Now this next shed here is by Blacksheep modding. This is the old storage shed, and this is one that I use quite a lot. Now this comes in a couple of variants. You can customise it for that end right there to be on the left rather than the right. You can actually walk up and in, and you can get rid of the straw on the ground as well just to have it. All that's customisable. So there we go. So see, I've just switched it off there, and I can turn it back on. There we go. So however you like it. So this is a great shed here, storing bales, equipment, whatever, and you will see that in the majority of my builds as well. It just kind of goes with the British style. And then this one's a new one that I've used recently, and this is the farm shed. And this is in the old buildings pack by Carol FG or TG, can't remember, I think it's FG. So this is in the old buildings pack, and it's called Farm Shed. And yeah, it's my latest farm build on Lady Hill. You'll have seen this getting used, and I just had this as the access in here, and this was completely blocked off by another shed, and I used this shed to basically put in my straw and my hay and store it. So another great shed, lots of detail into it as well, which is great. So as I say, these are just my top 15 mods that I use all the time. By no way the top 15, they are the best mods for using for building. These are my top 15, what I like to use for doing my building. Now the next three are going to be our livestock ones, and they are all by MS Modding. MS Modding makes some amazing livestock sheds, be that calf barns, cow sheds, sheep barns. The three that I've got here that I use all the time are by him. So this is a calf barn here, as I say, by MS Modding. We've got all these sheds here, all these gates here on the outside that actually all open up. So all these gates do open if you want to open them to get in from a certain way. So you can basically, if you wanted to, though these open, you can have this end right up against a shed and not use them. And I just usually use the two end ones and have that as your feeding passage down there. You can actually store some stuff in here if you wanted to, and then your calves are in here. So I'll usually have the younger calves in here, and then just as they get older, shift them about different sheds. As I say, it is a great UK style calf barn with Slurry output there on the right hand side. You will need a manure heap, and I have even managed to find, I can't remember what one it was, but it was a little small manure heap that I managed to get, and it fitted right in here, which meant this area here was being used for collecting the manure, and that kind of worked really well as well. And then you have got, pretty sure there is, yeah, there's a little milk tank round here round the side if you did want to have cows in it rather than calves, and collect milk from them. So next one up over here is the UK indoor sheep barn, again MS Modding. So what we have is just a UK style shed that can take, I think it's up to about 100 sheep, if I remember correctly. Feeding points are in here, there's water, and yeah, an ideal great shed for keeping sheep. Now when I usually do this, what I'm using this for is bringing my ewes in to lamb indoors, and then I keep the lambs inside and put the ewes back out to pasture. On the outside here you won't see it, but there is an actual little area here, and this is where the wool will spawn, just here. So that's where your pallets of wool will spawn there, and that way you can pick them up and sell them. And just quickly down here is the large UK cow barn by MS Modding. This is one that you'll have seen me use quite a lot. Feeding area along the front there. That does, you'll bed it with straw. All the triggers for those two are on the front. We've got a milk tank there for collecting on the side, and then again, very much like the calf barn, the slurry point is round here, and you will need to place a manure heap down for this as well to collect the manure. So that is basically 3 livestock sheds that I use quite a lot, and you'll have seen me use them in the majority of my builds, as I say, and I'm going to say it again, MS Modding for UK style livestock sheds is probably one of the top ones that's going. So yeah, he's made some cracking sheds that I do use quite a lot. So moving on, for slurry storage, we have here the Lizard Liquid Manure Tank by Mr. Hector. So this is one that I've started using. Trying to get a UK style slurry tower is quite hard. There have been a few out. One that's actually got a cover on it that's blue. I can't remember who did that one. But this is the one that I use now. Just like your normal slurry tower you'd find in any UK farm. It is 5 rings high, and yeah, a great mod. It's got a fill from the top area there, and good with the placeables and things like that. You can start to put down some slurry pipes and that there if you really wanted to when putting this on your farm, and that will collect your slurry there. So now going to go down to a new shed that I haven't placed down on any farm builds yet. I seen it come out the other day and I just went, you know what, that would fit in really, really well. UK style farm, Irish style farm. So this basically is called farm. No, what one's this one? Sorry. Yeah. So this is old large shed. In a large shed pack, and it's by Modz. So yeah, ideally you could have some storage here of equipment or bales sitting in here, and the same with that side, and you've got a road through. Very similar to the shed that was on a build. Oh, who did it now? Oh, it's going to annoy me who, I can't remember, so I'm just going to stop. But there was a YouTuber, Scroft. Scroft built his Bevington farm, and when he built that, it was a little shed like this, and on the right hand side and the left hand side he had his straw and his hay all stacked. Very similar style to that what Scroft had on Bevington farm. So though I've not used this yet and put it down, I've just decided to put it in my top 15 because it is a good Irish UK style shed that you could use for anything really, with obviously an area to come in and out both sides, and you wouldn't even need to use both sides if you didn't want to. You could have a shed right up against it, blocking off one area, so you could only get access in from one side. A mod that I've not featured is a UK style farm gates. You could quite easily stick a set of farm gates across there if we can get the right size to fit. That blocks off one side as well. So that is them there, and then we'll just pop down the back here. So we're going to pop down the back here, and we're going to visit the British style bunker silo. So this British style bunker silo you'll have seen me use quite a lot on a lot of my farm builds, and this is by RhodTehMod. Brilliant UK style I or H beams as you call them, depending where you are in the UK. Some people call them I beams, some people call them H beams. Up here in Scotland we call them H beams, with concrete panels and your locking pins in for those concrete panels. Lots of detail in that concrete and things like that, and this is just a great UK style silage clamp basically. So that is one that I use quite a lot, and you'll have seen that on a lot of my mods. Just remember, when placing something like this, it only goes in 90-degree cycles, so it's not free flowing and turning. You will have to get it sitting right as you do your build. And then next to this is one that you've seen me use quite a lot and place inside buildings. This is basically a little workshop that I like to use. So this workshop I use quite a lot. It is a small workshop by Grimlock RRC, and yeah, it is basically come into this area here, and you can basically, there'll be, I think it's just about here, should have put triggers on, but the trigger's just about here, and you would walk up to the trigger, press a button, and then fix, repair, paint, whatever you want to do to your tractor equipment that's sitting there. Now, going to go over here to this manure heap, and this is a manure heap. Used this quite a lot and used lots of manure heaps, and I didn't know what one to place down because it's more the pack than anything. So I used the pack of manure heaps. It's by Rajot Gplay. Yeah, lots of different manure heaps in this pack. Again, the link for every single one in this video will be down, but detailing the bricks on the wall there, and the cement, the cracks, just things, good detail in it. And yeah, this is one that I have used a lot, and I've used lots from his pack there. Now, diesel tank. This is one that I've used quite a lot. This is the diesel from the diesel tank pack, and it's by Farmerls. And this is one that comes in different sizes. I think this is a 5,000 litre one. You get a 7,500 litre one, and I think you get them down as little as 3,000 litre tank. So this is one that I use quite a lot. There was one out for 22, and it was, you could change the colour of the door and things like that. So this is the kind of style that you would get in the UK for your diesel tanks. Now this is one that you'll have seen on quite a lot of my farm builds, and this is the Silos FS pack by Piesel. So what I will usually do is, this is a main silo here that I will place down, and then what I do is I run off the side of it, I run basically extensions to make these two a lot bigger and what they can hold. And then for basically looks and aesthetics, what I have is an unload zone without cover old, and this is in the unload zones pack by Vanquish 081. So rather than not having an area to tip in to get them into that, I place this down here. The trigger sits for the silos just about here, so it will automatically look as if you're tipping it in through that there. And it's going into the ground and then getting fed up and into the silos. So these are just some of the 15 mods, or should I 14, that I use quite regularly on building my farm builds, my UK farm builds. You all know that's the kind of style that I do. Sometimes I like to build smaller farms, sometimes I like to build larger ones. It just all depends on the mood, the map, and what I'm actually wanting to achieve. But these are the 15 that I do and will use quite regularly, and as more come out I might do another one, but apart from that, that's basically it for this video, guys. I'm going to do one on tractors and equipment that I use, but yeah, apart from that, that's it, guys. I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you very much for watching. If there is any mods that you think I should take a look of or that, just tag it in the comments, give us a like, subscribe, it all helps, guys. But other than that, thank you very much for watching my top 15 mods, and we'll catch you in the next one.